What's up, everybody? Timmy Ray back at you for part 2 of Pimp My Predator Ride, Yukon edition, aka the dog Nolly. Part 2 is going to be the full rifle rack and storage box in the back. I put some still photos in there. If you got any questions, dimensions, or things I talk about, please hit me up on Instagram. Drop Zone Hunting _ENC. I'll help anybody out. If you want to build something like this, there's several different configurations, 3 guns, 4 guns that guys have done that I've helped talk about while they're building it, and they all come out great. It just depends on your style of hunting. If you haven't looked at part one of this series is the 4 tripod rack suspended from the ceiling. Go check that out. Really cleans up the back of between the box and the tripods. It's all open. And then part 3 I'll drop here in a day or two will be on the upper rack we had built and the paint part of this, a little bit on the paint, some still photos, how it started. And then part 4 will be the final walk around inside and out of the dog Nolly. So stay tuned for that. Again, any questions, hit me up on Instagram. If you like what you see, do me a favor, hit the like button. Follow me on Instagram for some coyote videos and things like that. I appreciate it. Y'all be good out there. All right, here's gonna be a look at the rifle rack holders. It's gonna be the forward part for the hand guards. Show you what we did before I carpeted this one. Just made a 2x4 frame. It's got a 2x4 in there and one at the bottom. And just wrapped it in plywood. And on this one, I did the angles. And then I just cut the top off, laid it sideways in the saw. And just cut the top. You could do it however you want, slants. The other one I did, Jimmy, was an angle here, flat top, and angle back down. I kind of like this, a little easier to carpet, this style. But 2x4 with 1/2 inch on both sides. It's about, I think it's 8.5, I think it was, or so. And again, that's going to be based on your width here. Now understand, you can only go so far with these rifles to the right because the size of your tripod holder. Now again, if you just went with a 3, you could shorten this in, make these wider, but then that shortens your box here, which is fine. Show you what I was thinking on that. If I was kind of thinking, I run this Predator power station, little 350. If I'd have made this thing just 1 inch on both sides, this Predator would have sat right all the way back to that upright, and the guns would be over top of it. You'd have your charging station if you wanted it right down here. And I could have got away with that because being wider this way, as long as my guns stay where we already have them designed, they won't hit the upright. But that was an after the fact thought. And again, I could have shortened my box 1 inch on both sides. Wouldn't hurt me for my storage. And we'll get to that box and how I got it set up here in a little bit. But just a food for thought. And really, you could do these how fancy you want to do. You could box this in right here, put a shelf in there for batteries or whatever else. It's just, it's kind of wasted space right here. You can see it's 3.5 inches wide in here. Could have done some shelving if you want to get into all that. So that's the uprights. All right, guys, little tip here on the carpet. If your slide box or your drawer is tight without the carpet, it ain't gonna fit. I wrapped the carpet around the bottom on this one, and now it don't fit. So I got a little bit of carpet on this side. The carpet's wrapped over here on the box, so that adds more than you think. And this is indoor outdoor carpet, very thin. So Just a little tip, even with your tripod hangers, when you add that carpet, just be mindful you're going to lose a quarter to a little bit more when you double side this carpet. So let me fix this situation and get back to you. All right, we might have fixed this. What we had to do was lay this on its side and run it through the table saw. I have a 10-inch opening, so I cut it down to 9 3/4. So basically, that's what we did. So let's see if that works. All right, here are the what we did for the gun racks. These are the Copeland ATV racks. Come in here and I cut the little teeth off of them. So the hand guards will slide in and out without rubbing on nothing. And really on the, with them hand guards, them little fingers just hold you up really bad. So over here, that's what two guns look like in it. You can see. Good evenly spaced. And these little uprights I built, and I don't know if it was something to do with the air conditioned ducts, but I actually had to cut these down 1.5 inches, cut the bottoms off of them. Then my original ones in the first box I did, I don't know what changed. So that's something you need to look at to get the height from your, if you're running suppressed or longer guns, you may have to lower these, or if you're running real long guns, you may have to push these uprights cut farther back so they're laying down. Of course, you don't want them in the back of your passenger's head. There you can see we have more than enough room to clear that 2 left passengers and driver. I did a little bit of metal work. I don't know how long that stuff's gonna last. Just did some angle 90-degree aluminum and some straight aluminum. I didn't like the way my last one came out with the carpet here all folded and then doing little triangles in there, trying to wrap it like a Christmas present. So I just cut the carpet off flush with the wood, and then just took a piece of, I think that's 3/4 by 1/8 inch aluminum, and just pressed it into that curve and screwed it down. Did some angle up here. Not 100% if I'm going to finish cutting this little bit out right here. I don't think I'm going to. The guns seem to be sitting well in there. This is more a decorative piece than anything, just to break up a little bit of the color in there from just the black. So that's kind of what it looks like. So we're getting close to being done with this. We need to trim those bolts. Probably going to paint those the same colors I did this trim, which this trim almost matches the rims we got on here. So do a little trim on these nuts and bolts right here, paint them, and I believe the rear box for this rig will be complete. Maybe a little bit of touch-up paint on the inside of the box, around the edges here. Again, you wrap this carpet over, and you build your box how you want to, but I try not to have a super big gap. If I'd have done the carpet, we would have a real thicker gap right here, and I was trying to avoid that. I want that to almost look like one piece, but doing the best we can with Lowe's wood and my skills as a carpenter. So might do a little bit there, and we'll move on to the next project, which is going to probably be the winch front and back.
Through the brush until you find the gun, you don't know the rush. It was 11:59, And it was 1 minute till it was opening day, and we had Fox to kill. The clock struck 12, we let the Fox Pro scream. This was just me and my buddy, living the dream. It's now 7 a.m. and it's time to quit. 2 times over, we reloaded our clip. Whole ride home, we're just talking about a blunder, cause that's the joy of being a predator hunter.